Comptroller, I welcome the opportunity of speaking on this legislation, Comptroller and Auditor General Amendment Bill 2017, which was being introduced by my two colleagues who have already spoken on this issue. And essentially, this, if passed, would ensure an automatic C&AG review of capital projects would be triggered if costs rise above a certain amount. That amount has yet to be determined during the passage of the legislation, but the principle is clearly laid out here. And this would ensure enhanced oversight of public spending, and that's the lesson that we need to learn before we embark on the major spending of the National Capital Plan. I will also say that it will ensure that there is more accountability for the taxpayer of spending public funds. And where does this all come from? Apart from our own view within the Fianna Fáil party, it's backed up by the IMF report on Ireland's capital investment management, when they issued a report back some time ago, and they said, looking at the Comptroller and Auditor General's office, they said it is focused on financial rather than performance auditing, and active monitoring by the Department of Public Expenditure and Reform is underdeveloped. So that's the two key things we want to address here. C&AG does good financial audit at the end of it, but this now is a move to enhance his office to do performance auditing during the course of a project, many of which span several years. So it's only right that he should be able to review these once costs hit a particular level of increase, and it's important we do that. Some of the key risks that the taxpayer faces are as follows. One, the political risk that governments just want to get diggers on site to show progress. That is probably where most public projects go wrong. That's what happened with the Children's Hospital. The government wanted the diggers on site before the hospital was even designed. How could you even have a proper estimate of price if you went on site before the hospital was designed? That's what happened here. And the government made a political decision. We want to show the project is up and running, and so we'll work out the price as we go along. When you let a contractor inside, you have lost total control. These external reviews that are currently being commissioned, they will get into the entrails of what went wrong. But the reason it went wrong is because the government made that decision. The government made a second wrong decision during the course of the National Children's Hospital. When it came to the point when they had the detailed design done, they could have gone to tender at that stage again and put it out to tender, but that would have involved the contractor that was currently on site who did the groundworks having to move off the site to re-tender like everybody else, and that would have delayed the process for 6 or 8 months while the project went to detailed tender for the construction of the hospital. But again, PR by the government won the day. They didn't want to face the situation that the contractor was moving off site, lest to be accused of collapsing or walking away from the project, and the PR for the government to continue the builder on site superseded any interest of the taxpayer getting the job properly tendered when the design was completed. So that's the first mistake that happens here, and the C&AG would be able to see that and flag that, and when the original estimates come in. And the public service is complicit as well. The public service, because they don't have the same commercial mandate, they may, through lack of independence, want to follow the minister's wish, and they produce memos lowballing the estimated cost of a project to get it up and running, and then the contractor knows the government wants it up and running, so they put in a low price. All in the full knowledge. Once the project is up and running, they will eventually get to a point of no return, and costs have gone out the window at that stage. That's what they all want to do, get the project to a point of no return, and who cares? And we'll tell them, sure, in 10 years' time, people will forget about the price. They won't forget about the price, because that will go on to the national debt, and we'll be borrowing and paying interest on that. And it's important that we have control and management over these issues at all those stages. And the C&AG should have the authority with enhanced power to come in and do that. He has the financial expertise, and he would well be able to oversee capital projects. And it's not just about the Children's Hospital. We're now talking about broadband coming up, rural broadband. There's figures of 3 billion being thrown around. Nobody knows what that's about. And I can guarantee you, Minister Bruton doesn't know what it's about. I can guarantee you the department doesn't know what it's about. But there's figures in the ether, and if they're talking about 3 billion before it even starts, God knows where this will end up. The same has happened with Lewis lines and light rail extension. It's a great idea, great PR. Let's cut the ribbon. Let's be out there. Let's get the job started. And sure, somebody else will pick up the cost. Because normally the minister who digs the sod is never around to pick up the bill 4, 5 or 6 or 7 years later. Let my successor worry about that. I'll be gone off to some other department. So that's really essentially what we're here about today. We want good projects to go ahead. Children's Hospital is needed, but it can also be done by getting value for the taxpayer and getting value for money and at a realistic price that the taxpayer can afford. So we do need a central unit for cost control and value for money auditing as the projects proceed, and the CNAG's office is the best office in the state. He's independent of government, he's independent of the Oireachtas, he has a constitutional role, nobody can challenge him, and I think that's a better way of going about it, and we should proceed and give him the additional powers to do that.